There's a particular kind of light that a radio dial makes. Not bright, nothing like that. More like embers. Like something that's been warm for a long time and has no intention of cooling down. You know the light. You've seen it in kitchens, in bedrooms, in the cab of a truck sitting in the driveway at the end of a long day. Amber, soft around the edges. The kind of light that asks nothing from you and offers something anyway. Every city had one. Every small town had one. A frequency on the dial that felt like it belonged specifically to where you lived. Not a network feed piped in from a studio 3 states away. Not a syndicated block timed out to the second. A local station. A small building on a side street. A tall antenna above the roofline. A sign out front that glowed in the dark. Inside, a microphone on a boom arm. A turntable spinning, a console full of sliders and blinking lights, notes pinned to a pegboard, a coffee cup leaving its ring on the desk, a clock on the wall showing 9 o'clock, a phone with a hold light blinking, patient as anything. The DJ wasn't famous. They weren't trying to be. They drove the same road you did. They knew which intersection backed up on Friday afternoons and which diner had good pie and which stretch of highway felt longest in the rain. They knew what the weather did to people's moves. They knew the difference between what a town needed on a Saturday morning and what it needed on a Tuesday night. And somehow, that knowledge, that simple local knowledge, made every song they played feel like a recommendation from a friend, not a stranger. Not a service you'd subscribe to, a person talking to you from a small room, choosing something because they thought you could use it right now. There was always a moment. You weren't looking for anything particular. Maybe it was late. Maybe the week had been long in the specific way that doesn't have a good explanation. The rain had started somewhere around 9. It was doing something soft and steady against the window. The room was quiet in the right way. The dial glowed. And then a song came on, and it was exactly right. Not because an algorithm had mapped your history, not because a system had learned your patterns and calculated a high match percentage, because someone who lived near you, who felt the same weather you felt, who drove home on the same wet roads that night, chose it. Chose it for the hour, for the town, for the quiet, possibly without knowing it, for you. That's the thing about a moment like that. You can't manufacture it. You can't schedule it. It just arrives. The way rain does. The way stillness does. When it comes, you recognize it.
Thousands of people were hearing that song at that same second. Someone at the counter of a late-night diner, a cup of coffee going cold. A man in a garage with tools hung on the pegboard and a bare bulb overhead. A car sitting in a parking lot, engine off, nobody quite ready to go in yet. A storefront with the light still on inside. A school janitor pushing a mop across a gymnasium floor, a small transistor radio on the bleachers keeping him company. None of them knew each other. All of them heard the same thing, at the same time, in the same town, under the same sky. Nobody had a word for it. Nobody needed one. You could call in. The number was easy to remember. They said it on the air over and over, like they actually meant for you to use it. You could ask for something, for a birthday, for a Tuesday that needed rescuing, for someone who was far away or just out of reach. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, they played it, for you, by name, on the air, in front of a whole town that was listening without knowing it was listening. The needle came down on the record, the VU meters jumped, the room went quiet in the best possible way. The playlists got better eventually at finding what you liked, better than anyone expected, honestly. They learned your patterns, your habits, the shape of your taste. They got very good at the what, but they were never trying to find you, the actual you, the one sitting in a specific town on a specific rainy Tuesday at 9 o'clock, feeling a specific thing you hadn't told anyone. There's a difference between a song that fits and a song that was meant for you. A small difference, maybe, but it's a real one. Some of those stations are still out there. Some of those DJs never stopped. Still driving the same roads, still watching the weather roll in from the west, still sitting in front of that console, fingers resting on the sliders, waiting for the song to end. Still picking something for the late hour, for the long week, for the rain that started around 9. The dial still glows. The hold light still blinks. If you find the right frequency on the right night, it still feels exactly like that. Like someone turned the dial, thought about who might be listening, and chose this